scene where
that was in Justice League.
Yeah, and remember they didn't want to pay for all of it, so there's that scene inside the ship where they do the bubble, and they don't have to be stuck in water, and he has that whole fight scene. That saves on budget. So they probably have a factory where they do the yada yada bubble, and then they can just build their stuff in there in dry docks, and then release it into the water from the yada yada bubble.
Yeah, it's funny. So Zack Snyder did the air bubble in Justice League, so they could talk to each other, and then James Wan was like, "Yeah, we're overthinking it. We're just going to talk underwater. We're not going to. You don't need to think about that."
Yeah, that was pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about their banter, Amber Heard? Like, there's a bogey on our 6. What is that? It's behind us.
So I didn't love Amber Heard in this movie.
I had a problem with, at the end of this film, I thought that she should have been king. Because she did more than, like, Momoa does nothing in this movie. She seems like the more responsible person.
Yeah, no, he definitely doesn't want to do any of this stuff.
And she remembers the things. He's like, oh yeah, he said 436. Like, she actually remembers everything. She wants to do what's best for Atlantis. She wants to prevent war. And at the end, they're like, here's the dude, he's the king. And that kind of bothered me a little bit. I didn't like that.
Yeah. No, it was a little bit, his character was a little bit like, I'm a rebellious teenager, just like shucking the system. I don't want to do what I'm supposed to do, right?
And he did nothing he had no turn of heart in this film. So, you know, in those movies where the prodigal son comes back and he's very, you know, he's lost, he's humbled, and he's ready to lead. He's accepted that fact. And this one, he rides a 2.5 kilometer thing, wipes out everybody, beats up on his brother, and he's like, well, I guess I'm king now.
Yeah, exactly.
I kind of love it, but this movie's weird, isn't it?
When he jumps out of the water in that, like, hero shot.
Yeah.
My daughter Aizen in the theater was like, Dad, I'd like to have that poster in my room.
Oh, that's cool.
So, despite all what you just said, it's still super cool when he jumps up and he's like Aquaman all of a sudden. And you're like, oh, here we are. Listen, now this is it.
He's a super cool dude. Like, if I was in a bar, I wouldn't go up to him all tough and ask for a selfie, but I'd buy him a beer.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, though, with Jason Momoa, and it's what I call the rock factor, but he is more endearing and charming than any of the material he's given. He just turns straw into gold.
Yeah, I could see that.
So this movie was like, it was alright, but Jason Momoa's in it, and you're like, it's just a treat to be part of. Because he's so endearing, even though his character is a bit of a wiener sometimes. He's like, it's Jason Momoa, you can't be angry at him.
Were you worried about that goat on the airplane next to that open door?
No. No, goats are pretty resilient.
It kind of knew, it knew the deal, didn't it, would you say?
Yeah, and goats are just always smashing their heads off stuff anyways. Like, you ever go to the zoo, and you go to the goats, they're always just fighting and smashing their heads into each other.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's gonna be fine. Even if he fell out, he'd be fine.
Now, there are moments when Momoa is very smart when he's talking about the statues and guiding the way, but then there's other moments where, is that a problem with the writing? Right.
No, I think he's actually smart in those moments, but he's playing the doofus because that's his move when it comes to women.
Oh, I have a question. What if this is like a Chris Pratt? Could he have pulled off what Momoa pulled off in this movie?
I don't think so. Because at the end of the day, Momoa has the build and he's just ripped. And so whether he's dumb or not, you know he's going to win the fist fight. Yeah. Whereas Chris Pratt, I don't know that.
Yeah. He's good though. I mean, he carries this movie. People love, movies don't make a 1.1 billion if audiences don't love it.
So my mom, who's not a superhero movie fan, likes her movies based in reality, called me up and said, have you seen Aquaman yet? He's my new favorite actor.
Oh, that's cool.
Right? Just because he was so adorable in this movie.
He gets along with his... How does his dad drink more than him? That's not healthy.
Yeah, but it's because his dad is actually a Green Lantern named Abin Sur.
Yeah, and he's Jango Fett.
And he's Jango Fett.
And he's in, speaking about mountains, Vertical Limit. He's in Vertical Limit.
Oh, what a resume Tiamu Morrison has, eh?
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty stellar.
He takes that fish eating pretty easily, though.
Yeah, but, like, we eat sushi. Is that different?
If you had a fish tank and you feed these fish every day, and you're by yourself, right? Your son's not around. Or wait, he was single. He was just a single dude, and he had a fish tank, which is close to his couch, so he's always next to these fish. And someone eats one. You're not just gonna be like, it's cool.
I had a bigger problem with the bass guitar in the background.
You don't see him plucking away?
I totally buy he'd be plugging in the bass, but it was plugged into a Vox AC30, which is a guitar amplifier. And you'd never plug a bass into a guitar amplifier, it'd blow it up. So
that was really bad production design then.
It just bothered me. It was like a throwaway moment and no one else really noticed it, and I was like, that's not what you do.
Oh wow, that's
but
interesting.
I think it was there because Jason Momoa was learning how to play bass during this movie. So he just walked around with a bass all the time.
And I could see him buying he just bought an amp from someone on the street because he's just such a cool guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid $7,000 for this. That's like $80. The guy needed money. I'm cool.
But I think that amp is a beautiful looking amplifier, so it probably looked better in the shot.
I mean, I guess in that world, since it's a different world, maybe that is a different type of amp. You know what I mean?
Vox AC30B.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, we just solved it.
You just solved it. I take that back.
Does it make you feel better about that movie now?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Nice.
No, my guitar nerdisms they'll drive me crazy. Like the Buddy Holly story with Gary Busey is one of my favorite movies.
Oh,
but
yeah.
every guitar he plays in it is from the 70s.
Oh no.
And they definitely are period wrong, and it just drives me up the wall.
That's like me when I watch tennis movies, because I played tennis for years.
Yeah.
But I box too, but you can't box correctly on screen. But tennis, that looks so bad. And also, you know me, man, with my extras, Megan's getting kind of sick of it. I'll see some extra walking in the background. I'm like, look at that! They're not moving their arms! Yeah, that gets me, man. That drives me up the wall. Do those creatures in the trench eat each other?
They eat anything.
Because, think about this. There are, would you say, billions of people in the sea?
Yeah.
They have to eat. So why would Atlantis allow all the whales to be hunted to extinction?
Well, I think they were hiding for a long time.
Yeah, but at night, you could just go punch a hole in the boat, and no one would ever know because that boat sunk.
Yeah, but do they care, maybe?
You don't think they care about the sea life?
I think they care about it, but not enough to get caught.
Do you think they'd get caught if they one of them by themselves swimming up at night, just pop, punch it, sink the ship?
Problem. If ships just keep sinking all the time, they're gonna get fishy.
They're gonna get fishy. This movie, it's starting to remind me more of Black Panther because you have the isolation of.
Oh, I think this movie was just Black Panther underwater, 100%.
It's that hero's journey, essentially. Yep. There's so many of these hero journeys, but yeah, they're isolationists. But then they want to go out and, since they have better materials, go and take over the world, which some people want to do. And they're related, Orm and them. And then you had, Michael B. Jordan and Killmonger and T'Challa.
Yeah. Who do you think would win in a battle? Atlantis or Wakanda?
Ooh. Okay, well, here's the thing. Right now, they could send tidal waves all around Africa, right?
Yeah.
Which would really destabilize the continent, correct?
I think so.
Okay, so you've destabilized the continent. And then they can actually get onto land. They have breathing apparatuses. Yeah. Once they send out those initial attacks, there's no way that the Wakandans have enough technology to get to them. Would you say?
Yeah.
So if the Wakandans had 50 years, 20 years to build underwater ships, it'd be closer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that the Atlanteans being able to fight on land and in the water are like such an X factor that it takes a lot to compete against that.
Who wins? T'Challa or in his suit or Aquaman? Aquaman's gonna get cut because he'll have the vibranium. That's probably the same thing as Atlantean steel, right?
I don't know. I think vibranium's indestructible, but doesn't mean it's sharp enough to cut Aquaman.
Yeah, because if that that huge bullet shoots him, it's not going to do it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to see them fighting. I want to see them hang out. right?
I would love to see the buddy cop movie of T'Challa and Arthur.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing.
Right?
While Lupita Nyong'o and Amber Heard are actually doing the good stuff, they're just rolling around tearing stuff up.
Yeah, but like a Lethal Weapon movie, but just like with T'Challa and Arthur.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Another question for you. Did that Carathian punch a hole through the Earth's core going into the battle?
I think he sure tried. Like he gave it the old college try. But I don't know if it succeeded or not, but it got quite a way.
It came through the crust, and Aquaman was on its head. How does that work?
There was a lot of physics in this movie that I just accepted.
Like obviously it works, right?
Yeah. But no, we've never talked about this.
What?
We've never talked about Julie Andrews.
Yeah, doing the voice.
Doing the voice. At the same time that Mary Poppins was in the theater.
Yeah.
That's crazy if you think about it.
She had a good run for a while there.
Yeah.
It's just wild that Julie Andrews did the voice.
Yeah. So all this being said with the physics and like you're right. It's a nuts movie, Mark. It's nuts. And the logic is flawed. And it's just, there's octopuses playing drums and there's.
Oh, I find that totally believable.
But I loved every second of this movie.
Oh, there's nothing to hate.
No, it's so good. It's just so fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could tell James Wan made this with a smile on his face.
Right. And as opposed to like, hey, James, do you want to make Black Manta look kind of like new and sleek? He's like, no, I want him to look ridiculous like he does in the comic book.
Super dorky.
Super dorky. Do you want to have like a new sleek take on Aquaman's suit? No. I want him to be orange and green like in the comic books. And they do it so well.
And I want Dolph Lundgren in the movie.
And I want this movie to be Oscar worthy, so we gotta put Dolph Lundgren in it.
You know, they were talking about the special effects. You know, this movie pushed special effects, and the guy who worked on it, Kevin McEwen, he was talking about the 2,300 digital shots. And they were asking everybody who worked on this movie. We're talking about some of the best visual effects artists on the planet. And this guy's like, honestly, they're like, what sequence was the hardest? He's like, honestly, there are too many difficult sequences in this movie to make that determination. It was just flat out hard across the board. Sorry to sound dramatic, but it's the truth. And then they're like, is there something specific that gave you short nights? He's like, all of them were short nights. I didn't get sleep. And then this other guy was just saying how, he was like, it was just, and everyone was just saying it's the most insane thing they ever worked on, but they loved working with James Wan. So it seems like people weren't sleeping, but they were really enjoying creating this world. And you could feel that in the finished product, even though, and I tell you, man, these guys, they had 5 different visual effects companies running at the same time to finish this movie. Because after they completed this film, they had 12 weeks to screen it for a test audience. Now, if you turn in something to a test audience that is, the visual effects are crappy, they're just going to comment on that. You're not going to get any valid criticism because they won't see the full film, so they'll just complain. So these guys, they across all these different countries, 5 different companies working their butts off. And I mean, I think they nailed it. People have complained about, the night tidal wave, the night trench, the murky battles. But the problem is in this time crunch, you can't have battles during the day because that's so much more visual effects. It has to be a little dark and it has to be a little murky. So even though you can say, oh, it's so murky here, I don't know what's going on, they had to do that to complete it. That was my once every episode I got to sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was just amazed at how much better Atlantis looked in this movie than in Justice League. Mm-hmm. Right? Like it was a notable step up. And so, cause when I saw Justice League, I actually was like, oh, I don't think I'm going to like Aquaman with the way they talk underwater, with the way they look when they swim. Like, I just don't know if I'm going to dig it. And then this movie blew me away. I was so excited about it.
What did you think about Willem Dafoe's role? And so at the end, there's a big fight scene, and they're just cutting to Willem Dafoe going, yeah, oh yeah.
So it reminded me of Dennis Quaid in G.I. Joe.
Oh.
Remember, and so there's a last battle going on, and he's like, send in the sharks.
Yep.
They kept cutting to him, and he's just saying stuff.
Yep.
And clearly it was just like pickup shots they made after to like splice him in. But I was like, yeah, kind of like, I'm rooting for this guy now. It was a lot of fun.
Send in the jalapeno poppers. What? We'll ADR it later.
Right. We'll make this make sense later.
Send in the pickles. Wait, what?
Exactly.
That movie made me money. I think